Welcome to our Old Testimonies channel. In today's video, we're going to unravel the mysteries hidden in the prophecies of the prophet Haggai, a biblical figure who, in times of great challenge, brought a message of hope and spiritual renewal. We often face times when our priorities are misaligned, and we feel the absence of a clear direction in our lives. Just as in Haggai's time, when the people of Judah needed to rebuild more than just a temple, we also need to rebuild our purpose and our faith. Let's explore Haggai's secret insights, which challenge us to reconsider our paths and show us how to find peace and prosperity by putting God first. Get ready for a transformative journey where we'll reveal how these ancient words can still light our path today. Subscribe to this channel and don't forget to leave a like. With your interaction, you help this message reach more people. That said, let's get down to business, and today, the story of the prophet Haggai. Haggai's story begins during a time of great tension and hope for the people of Judah. Imagine a group of individuals returning to their homeland after years of captivity in distant Babylon. They were filled with expectations, memories of past glories, and a significant responsibility. This is the atmosphere in which Haggai, a prophet of God, emerges as a crucial figure. The city of Jerusalem lay in ruins, and the temple, once the heart of worship to God, was destroyed. Rather than rebuilding this sacred space, the people focused on their own homes and lives, attempting to restore a sense of normalcy after a long exile. In this setting, God calls Haggai to be his voice. Haggai is not just any prophet. He is a messenger with a specific and urgent mission. Through him, God reminds the people that true restoration doesn't begin with bricks and mortar, but with spiritual renewal. Haggai's call is an awakening for the people, a reminder that they were freed from captivity for a greater purpose than merely living comfortably in their homes. The temple needed to be rebuilt, as it was the symbol of God's presence among them. Haggai addresses the people with an authority that cannot be ignored. He challenges the leaders, Zerubbabel, the governor, and Joshua, the high priest, to look at their situation with fresh eyes. The prophet emphasizes that while each person is concerned only with their own needs, the house of God lies in ruins. He asks a simple yet powerful question. Is it time for you yourselves to dwell in your paneled houses while this house lies desolate? Haggai 1:4. This question strikes deep, directly confronting the people's priorities. The context of the exile serves as more than a backdrop. It is a constant reminder that God never ceased caring for his people. They were taken captive as a consequence of their disobedience, but even in exile, God never abandoned them. Now, back in their land, the people had the opportunity to start anew, not just rebuilding a physical structure, but their relationship with God. Haggai is the catalyst for this change, a living reminder that God's presence is the true foundation of their identity as a nation. Haggai's prophetic call is a summons to action and faith. He speaks not only of reconstructing a building but also of uplifting the spirit of a nation. Each stone laid in the new temple symbolizes a stone of spiritual renewal, a step towards restoring the relationship between the people and God. With his clear and urgent message, Haggai challenges the people to rethink their lives, prioritize God first, and trust that by doing so, all other things will be added unto them. At the height of his prophetic mission, Haggai addresses the people with a message that is both an appeal and a warning. Consider your ways. These simple yet powerful words resonate as a call to conscience. Haggai invites them to deeply reflect on the course of their lives, how they have been living, and what truly matters. He urges the people to observe the reality around them and see the signs of their disconnection from God. The drought that devastated their crops, the lack of prosperity in their lives, all these were direct consequences of their neglect of God's temple. Haggai, with impressive clarity, explains that the problems the people faced were not mere coincidences or bad luck. They were a spiritual reflection of disobedience and the lack of priority given to God in their lives. The prophet vividly describes the scene: dry fields, empty barns, and hard work that yielded no rewards. He points out that while the people tirelessly worked to build their own houses and seek personal comfort, God's house remained in ruins. This spiritual disconnect was at the root of all their problems. Haggai's message is clear. Prosperity and peace would only return to the people when they put God first. He challenges them to evaluate their priorities and realize that focusing solely on their own needs, while ignoring the temple, was bringing a curse instead of a blessing. Haggai is direct, not softening the truth. He tells the people that all their efforts would be in vain as long as they neglected their relationship with God. This first message from Haggai is a call to introspection, an opportunity for the people to reconnect with their divine purpose and understand that true prosperity comes from God. With persuasive skill, Haggai conveys the urgency of the situation. He highlights that God was using adverse circumstances to draw the people's attention, reminding them that He is the source of all blessings. With compassion and firmness, Haggai exhorts the people to change their course, to stop focusing solely on their own lives, and to start rebuilding the temple. He promises that by doing so, God would be with them and bless the work of their hands. This first message is crucial because it is not just a critique or lament about the current state of affairs. It is an invitation to transformation. Haggai offers a clear solution: prioritize God's work and trust that by doing so, everything else would fall into place. He reaffirms God's promise that if the people obeyed and put the Lord first, they would see rain, abundant harvests, and prosperity return. Haggai plants the seed of hope and renewal, guiding the people to a new understanding of their role as God's chosen nation. Moved by Haggai's powerful message, the people of Judah, who were previously apathetic and scattered, now find new determination. The leadership plays a crucial role in this collective awakening. Zerubbabel, the governor, and Joshua, the high priest, take responsibility with courage and faith. They recognize the truth in Haggai's words and feel the call to lead the people in the sacred task of rebuilding the temple. This moment marks a significant transformation, where not only the leaders but the entire community unites with a renewed purpose. The decision to act spreads like a wave of renewal across Judah. People begin gathering the necessary materials and organizing the work to restore God's temple. This is not merely a construction project, it is an act of worship, a demonstration of faith and obedience. The work is arduous and the conditions are not ideal, but there is a new energy and sense of mission that drives everyone forward. Haggai continues to play a vital role, not only as a prophet, but also as a tireless encourager. He assures the people that the Lord is with them, providing spiritual assurance that strengthens their hands and hearts. The presence and spiritual support of Zerubbabel and Joshua are fundamental to the progress. Zerubbabel, as the political leader, organizes and directs the reconstruction efforts, while Joshua, as the spiritual leader, guides the people in proper worship and observance of God's laws. This collaboration between civil and religious leadership is essential for the project's success. Haggai, in turn, serves as the divine voice reaffirming God's presence among them, continually reminding them that their obedience will bring blessings and prosperity. This period of working together is marked by challenges, but also by moments of deep spirituality. The people, led by their rulers, begin to see beyond the rubble of the past, visualizing the future glory that God had promised through the prophet Haggai. They come together not just as workers but as a community of faith, united by the hope of a new beginning. Every stone erected and every sacrifice made are symbols of their renewed devotion to God. The assurance that God is with them, consistently reinforced by Haggai, instills the courage to face difficulties. Although they encounter obstacles and opposition, the promise that the Lord will bless their efforts keeps them steadfast. The rebuilding of the temple becomes a powerful symbol of spiritual renewal and hope for the future. This journey, filled with faith and determination, is more than the restoration of a building. It is the rebuilding of a nation under divine guidance, led by the vision and prophetic voice of Haggai. As the work of rebuilding progresses, Haggai continues to be a source of divine revelations that fuel the people's faith and determination. Amid the hard labor, he brings a message that lights up their hearts with hope and an inspiring vision for the future. The glory of the new temple will be greater than that of the first. For a people who had memories of Solomon's temple, with all its magnificence, this promise is both surprising and encouraging. Haggai speaks not only of a grander physical structure, but also of a new era of peace and prosperity that God promises to bring. This vision of a glorious future serves as a beacon, guiding the people through the present difficulties. Haggai explains that this new temple will not just be a place of worship, but a symbol of a renewed covenant between God and his people. He describes how nations will bring riches to the sanctuary, indicating a time when Jerusalem will become a center of worship and prosperity. This promise resonates deeply, especially among those who had experienced captivity and now see an opportunity to restore not just a building but the dignity and spirituality of a nation. Haggai's message is clear. The construction of the temple is more than a mere engineering task. It is a spiritual work that symbolizes the restoration of the people's relationship with God. He assures them that the divine presence will fill the new temple in an even more powerful way than before. This promise of future glory not only motivates the workers to continue their task, but also inspires the entire community to renew their faith and commitment. Haggai emphasizes that the peace promised by God will come as part of this new glory, a peace that transcends mere absence of conflict and represents the fullness of divine blessing. The prophet also mentions that God will shake all nations, bringing what is precious to adorn the temple. This prophecy points not only to material renewal, but also to an influx of spiritual wealth. Haggai uses powerful images of transformation and renewal, showing that God's plan is comprehensive and includes both the physical and spiritual well-being of his people. This perspective broadens the vision of the listeners, helping them understand that what is being built is more than a building. It is a testament to God's faithfulness and his continuous presence among them. Thus, the promise of greater glory is not just about the future temple, but about the future of God's people as a whole. Haggai makes it clear that this new temple will be a focal point for the manifestation of the divine presence and a meeting place for all nations, foreshadowing an era of global unity and worship. This inspiring vision serves as a call for each person involved in the project to grasp the depth and breadth of what they are accomplishing. Each stone laid in the temple is not just part of a construction, but an act of faith in the promise of a brighter and blessed future. As Haggai approaches the end of his mission, he delivers a final prophecy that stands out for its depth and importance. He begins to speak of a future time when God promises to shake not only the earth but also the heavens. This powerful and unsettling image serves as a metaphor for an imminent divine intervention that will bring profound and significant changes. Haggai is conveying a message of global transformation, where earthly kingdoms will be shaken, and only what is of God will remain unshakable. Within this context of change and renewal, Haggai prophesies about the selection of Zerubbabel, the governor of Judah, as a special sign from God. He describes Zerubbabel as God's signet ring, a symbol rich in meaning. In ancient times, a signet ring was used to authenticate documents and important orders, symbolizing authority and authenticity. Thus, Zerubbabel's designation as the signet ring means he is chosen by God to lead and ensure the execution of his plans. This prophecy is not only a recognition of Zerubbabel's role in the rebuilding of the temple, but also a symbol of a renewed covenant between God and his people. The promise of an unshakable kingdom brings with it a lasting hope. Haggai speaks of a reality that transcends the instabilities of human kingdoms and earthly politics. He points to an era when God's sovereignty will be fully manifested, and all temporary powers will be subordinated to his eternal rule. This vision not only offers comfort to the people of Judah, who faced many trials and challenges, but also plants a seed of expectation for a glorious future where God's justice and peace will prevail. This final prophecy of Haggai is a potent conclusion to his mission, but also a prelude to something greater. Many scholars and theologians see in this promise a reference to the kingdom of God, a kingdom that cannot be shaken because it is founded on the very nature of God. This kingdom is characterized by justice, peace, and the continuous presence of God among his people. Haggai's message, therefore, is not just for his time, but extends as an eternal promise to all generations who seek hope and security in God's covenant. With this final prophecy, Haggai seals his role as a prophet who brought not only a word of correction, but a message of hope and renewal. He reminds the people that despite the challenges and difficulties, God is actively involved in their midst, guiding them toward a secure and glorious future. The promise of an unshakable kingdom offers an anchor of hope in times of uncertainty and an inspiring vision of what is to come. Haggai concludes his mission with a note of confidence in God's faithfulness, leaving the people of Judah and all future generations with the assurance that God fulfills his promises and that his kingdom will prevail eternally. The story of Haggai, while anchored in a specific historical context, transcends its time and place to offer timeless lessons on faith, priorities, and spiritual renewal. Haggai was not just a prophet who urged the reconstruction of a physical temple. He was a catalyst for a spiritual transformation that resonates to this day. His teachings challenge us to examine our lives, question our priorities, and ask if we are truly putting God first. He invites us to consider our ways, reflecting on whether our actions and choices truly reflect the glory and will of God. Haggai's prophecies reveal that even in times of adversity and apparent stagnation, God is present and active, calling his people to a life of dedication and obedience. The people of Judah, under the leadership of Zerubbabel and Joshua, found renewal in responding to Haggai's call, and this renewal was deeper than merely rebuilding walls and roofs. It was a renewal of spirit and purpose, a return to the heart of worship and faithfulness to God. The rebuilt temple became a tangible symbol of this renewal, a physical reminder of God's presence among his people. Haggai also teaches us about the promise of something greater, pointing to a future glory that surpasses our current expectations. He speaks of an unshakable kingdom, a promise of peace and prosperity that does not depend on earthly circumstances, but on God's unshakable faithfulness. This vision of a glorious future offers hope and motivates us to persevere, even when challenges seem insurmountable. The promise that God will shake the heavens and the earth is a powerful reminder that his sovereignty is above all things, and that his plan for us is secure and eternal. As we reflect on the story of Haggai, we are inspired to live a life of purpose and hope. His messages are not just for the people of Judah, but for all of us who seek to understand our place in God's plan. He invites us to live with integrity, to seek God's presence in all that we do, and to trust that by putting God first, he will take care of all other needs. Haggai challenges us to build not just physical structures, but lives that are living temples of worship and service to God. Ultimately, Haggai's story is a call to action. It is an invitation to rise up from complacency and embrace the work that God has for each of us. Just as the people of Judah found purpose and renewal in responding to Haggai's call, we are called to pursue a life that reflects God's glory, trusting in his promises and living with the certainty that his kingdom is unshakable. This narrative continues to inspire and guide all those who wish to live with purpose, hope, and a deep connection with the Lord. Write in the comments, what have the prophecies of Haggai taught you today? For more blessing stories, there's a playlist that will appear for you. There you'll find other stories from the minor prophets of the Holy Bible. Don't forget to like this video. See you in the next video. God watch over you.